Hey you guys, hello and welcome. I hope everyone's doing really well. Happy late February, I believe is when I'm gonna upload this. I just really wanted to talk about this little houseplant here. This is the Chamaedora elegans. It's in the Arecaceae family, not to be confused with the Arecaceae or the heathers and heaths, but rather the palm tree family. So Areca Arecaceae family. It used to be called the Majesty Palm, but that name has been given to another palm, the Kentia palm, I believe, which is a larger plant, not to be confused. This here is native to southern Mexico, specifically the states of Guerrero and Oaxaca, as well as the Yucatan Peninsula, specifically around Quintana Roo, and Guatemala, or I guess in Canada we'd call it Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, as well as Belize and Roatan and a few sporadic islands in the Western Caribbean. So it's a pretty small palm tree. It's usually sold colonially in these clumps, usually with the seed pods present. But I'm going to divide this pretty soon because they don't like a lot of competition. I think the reason why they sell them like this in the big box stores is simply to make them more marketable, and it makes them larger right off the bat because they're quite a slow growing plant. So it has a lot of cultural significance in southern Mexico and Mesoamerica to this day. It's a very important plant in Palm Sunday and processions regarding Palm Sunday. They create this ash paste of it, which is referred to as shate or jate. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but it does have a lot of cultural importance in southern Mexico and northern Central America in regards to practices of Palm Sunday, specifically in Easter, and the Latin Catholic Church in particular, or at the highest magnitude, I should say. Yeah, so a few things that I want to talk about this plant, a few problems people might encounter with this plant, I have personally in the past, are overwatering, I think is the most common one. This plant will go a little bit sort of, it'll lack luster, it won't be as shiny, it'll go a little bit gray, and then it'll go a little bit yellow, and then a little bit brown if you water it too often. And you'll get a little bit of sooty mold and stuff right at the bottom of the base, and it'll start rotting, and it's just not cool. So I water this once a week. I water it with quite soft water, so I let the water evaporate if I'm using tap water, or I'll use distilled water because once again the leaves are a little bit sensitive to that. The mature plant's not very tall. It's only about 15 feet at maximum, single trunk. What else should I say about it? The fronds emerge in an opposite fashion, opposite arrangement, which is really cool. These palmately compounded compound fronds or leaves usually get about 15 to 25 little leaflets at maturity. The active growing season is from about March till October. You can extend this all throughout the year if you live in an area where you can supplement artificial light. They do really well in a southern exposed window with diffused light, and they do really well in an eastern and western exposed window. If you put them in a northern exposed window, this will be opposite if you're in the southern hemisphere, by the way. They don't tend to get enough light, and then they tend to wilt off, and then you don't get as prolific growth. They'll get a little bit of stunting, and then they're more susceptible to other issues. It likes pretty high humidity. I think 75% ambient humidity is ideal for this plant. Once again, they're a very slow grower. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm putting this at a 4 for difficulty just because they're really easy to overwater. They don't like a whole lot of fertilizer because they don't like a lot of salt and sediment accumulating and agglomerating within the soil. Excuse me, they like a slightly acidic soil. You can use just regular potting soil, though I think it's fine as well as long as it's well aerated and it has a lot of stable nutrients within it. And it's just a really beautiful plant. So this is the Neanthe Bella Palm, also known as the Parlour Palm. It's an excellent oxygen refining plant. So if you have this in a bedroom and you want to sort of enhance and up the oxygen levels a bit, this is really good for you. And yeah, so that's just kind of the video I wanted to make today. It's a pretty slender plant too, actually. It only has a mature spread of about 4 feet. And yeah, so have a really wonderful day, you guys. Or night, or whatever. Just thank you so much for watching. And yeah, stay blessed, and I appreciate the support. Have fun, you guys.